Women's Health Wednesday. Proper sleep vital to our health, but the upcoming time change can throw many of us off. And Dr. Alan Schaefer, sleep medicine and critical care specialist with St. Peter's Sleep Center, joins us now with tips for everybody to better adjust. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, Doctor.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Good to have you here. I know, you hear, oh, we're gaining an hour of sleep. This is a good thing. I'm looking forward to that. But there can still be negative impacts. Tell us about some of those.
Yeah, absolutely. We're used to sleeping and being awake at certain hours, and that our physiology doesn't change just because we change the clock. So there's going to be an adjustment. And so you can develop what's called circadian misalignment, and that can affect your health. Yeah. It seems odd and even subtle, but it really can. And there are studies that have shown that there's an increased risk during the time change of things like heart attacks, hospitalizations, emergency room visits. In the spring, it tends to be more, as there's actually data that shows there's an increase in car accidents just from people not being used to the time shifts. So it's a real, it's a real concern.
And whether you are ending daylight saving time, as we will do on Sunday, or if you're just beginning it, right?
Right.
It can still have an impact. There was one thing I was reading about, suicides even are on the increase.
Yeah.
Why?
That's hard to explain, but there people who are prone to, people with psychiatric disease who are prone to this can be affected very much by their internal hormonal milieu, and that can affect depression very significantly, as well as the decrease in available light. There's seasonal affective disorder that as the days get shorter can be a problem as well.
So what can we do to better adjust? Because now would be the time, right?
Yes.
This Sunday's the change.
Right. So it's good to plan ahead, like with most things.
Yeah.
So first of all, you want to make sure you're getting enough sleep, at least 8 hours if you can. For teenagers, at least 7 hours, and I know that can certainly be challenging, having had teenagers of my own.
Me too.
And it's recommended to adjust your bedtime, make it later by about 15 to 20 minutes every day for, say, starting tonight up until Sunday. That way when Sunday morning comes, you'll be back on your regular schedule. So that's one thing.
Right.
In terms of that adjustment, for people who already struggle with problems like insomnia, it's recommended not to do that, because just take that extra hour of sleep and go with it.
Tell us overall the impact that a lack of sleep has on our bodies. And then I want to talk a little bit about women too in particular.
Yeah, sure. As I was saying, they're throwing off our normal circadian hormonal secretions, and our light exposure can stress our system. And it's become clear lately that stress on our system leads to inflammation, which leads to so much disease,
right.
Basically.
So many health issues as well.
Right.
Cancer and you name it, heart disease.
Yeah, so just that stress of changing the time and struggling to get up in the morning, or in some cases, just to get through the day, can really impact the exact hormonal mechanisms we don't really know. But again, there's data that shows the increased issues that we talked about.
And women can really have some sleep disruptions. As they age, they're more susceptible. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, for sure. As women become postmenopausal, they frequently will develop insomnia if they don't already have sleep disorders, which so many people already do.
Yeah.
But the hormonal shifts can create insomnia, and that's not just the night, the hot flashes that you hear so much about. That certainly compounds it, but just in general, I see a lot of patients that have slept fine, then they hit menopause, and then it's a problem.
And you can help people at the Sleep Center, right? You were saying it's the 25th anniversary for the Sleep Center. Yes.
We, Dr. Aaron Scher, who I met 30 years ago when I did my training up here, and he was the only game in town, essentially, and he started the Sleep Center with St. Peter's, and we just hit our 25th anniversary.
Great to hear. And
yeah.
people should be proactive if they have concerns with their sleep, because it does impact so much, right? So they need to reach out to their doctors.
Absolutely. Sleep will impact our health in so many other ways. If we don't get enough sleep, it actually increases our risk for developing diabetes, heart disease, and it's that. So getting enough sleep and also recognizing any sleep disorders such as sleep apnea can also impact our health.
Right.
So sleep is one of the sort of those foundational pillars of health, if you will.
Yeah, so don't ignore it.
Yeah, for sure.
Do your best to get more of it, right?
Absolutely.
Reach out to your doctors. Dr. Schaefer, we appreciate you talking to us so much about all of this.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks for being here. You can find all of our Women's Health Wednesday segments online. You can go to news10.com and look for Women's Health under the Community tab. We'll be right back.